Meanwhile, 14 senators signed the draft resolution, which is basically a vote of confidence for Senate President Tito Sotto. But the number one senator of the last elections, si Senator Cynthia Villar, refuses to sign it. So ano ang tingin mo, Richard? Meron bang looming power crisis or power struggle sa Senate?
To be fair to Senator Villar and incoming Senator Villar, ang sabi naman niya, hintayin niya pa yung ibang party mates from Nationalista Party. She needs more consultation with her party mates before she makes a decision on this point. Nonetheless, this is a departure from what seems to be a consensus among many dyan sa Senado. Because ang tingin kay Tito Sotto is that even though kasama siya sa majority, he's very fair, he's very consultative, he's very open dun sa kanyang way of dealing and bringing different factions and groups together. It's also a question of perks, prestige, and PR. Meron kang power in terms of designating sinong magiging chairman ng which committee.
Yes.
And of course, depending on which committees you chair, that also has its own implication. And the other thing let's keep in mind also, Atom, here is, meron issue dun sa transition or potential succession in an event na God forbid may nangyari sa ating presidente. Considering the fact na the Vice President is seen from the opposition, considering the fact that may mga threats of even possible impeachment laban sa Vice President Leni Robredo. So the person who could take over in an event na may vacuum dun sa top two offices is the Senate President. That's what the Constitution says.
Yes.
So, meron
He or she is within striking distance.
Within striking distance. And even if hindi siya magiging President or Vice President within the next 3 years, pwede niya gamitin yung plataforma ng Senate Presidency to run for presidency in 2022.
For the people who are watching this, meron ba talagang difference between the leadership of Senator Tito Sotto and Senator Cynthia Villar? What are we looking at?
You know, on a one-to-one basis, it's not like Cynthia Villar is like a core ally of the president. This is where it's an advantage for Tito Sotto that he doesn't come from the two dominant parties. He comes from a smaller party, the NPC party, that is seen more as above the fray. Why Cynthia Villar comes from one of the dominant parties. So the idea there is that if Cynthia takes over, that will solidify the dominance of the Nationalista Party in the last 3 years of President Duterte and could set the stage for 2022 onwards. The same thing might not apply in the case of Tito Sotto. He's more or less on his own, right? He's above the fray. He tries to put different groups together.